Welcome back. As I mentioned in our last video, we're preparing to go on a long trip. Now, we're taking the Jeep JK, which means we don't have a lot of room to pack, so we have been spending the last week or so trying to decide what we're going to take with us, and just as importantly, what's going to stay home. As we were going through that, we found a number of smaller items that we said, these have to go with us. They've become some of our favorite camping gear over time. So I thought I'd do a quick video, show you what those items are. Some of those you might find familiar, others might be new to you. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy learning about the products. So stick around and let me show you what I'm talking about. Welcome back to Dickin' Around Outdoors. It's great to see you. Today, we're going to talk about some of the smaller camping items that have become our favorites. These are products that go on almost every trip with us. We're going to just show you what they are, why we like them, and we hope that you find that useful. Before we start, please take a moment to hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. And if you have already subscribed, thank you. We appreciate it. If you like the content, don't forget to share it with your friends. And again, since we're getting ready to leave on the trip, don't forget to hit the notification button so you don't miss any of the excitement on that trip. So let's get started. Number one, in no particular order, of our favorite small camping items. Now, one of the items that we always have to have on our trip is a way to process wood. Sometimes you're taking a smaller fire pit. Sometimes you're using the campfire ring that's there. Sometimes you're using the ground. But smaller wood burns better, I've always found. So traditionally, one would take an axe to split the wood. But sometimes the wood is just too long. So what's an item that I like to take with me? Well, this is called the Dustrude Bucksaw. This saw was actually invented and manufactured in northern Minnesota by a World War II veteran fighter pilot, and I believe the company is still in his family. It's something that we take with us. We found to be extremely useful. It's an aluminum channel. That's the shell, blade. It's very easy to put together. You just simply slide the blade into the saw, put the other end in the other side, use the oak handle, clip it into place, and you have a saw. Now this baby will eat through some wood. It's extremely lightweight. It weighs in at 1 pound. You can change the blade, so if the blade gets dull, you can buy another one. Bucksaw blades are $12. And if you're cutting different kinds of wood, the peg blade that comes with it is made for dry firewood. But if you're somewhere where you're cutting green wood, you can get a different blade, put it in here very easily. Now, this does not come with the case. The case actually came from Frost River out of Duluth, Minnesota. You can also get one from Duluth Pack, but it makes a nice way to carry the saw. Number two on the list are items that we take to help us start fires. Now, I know the butane lighters are ubiquitous, but they're not foolproof. And I don't know how many times I've had a butane lighter or a small butane torch that failed on me or ran out of fluid at the inappropriate time. So I always have a backup to start a fire. What are the items that we take? Well, number one, not the knife, but the fire steel. I recommend always having a fire steel in your pack and a way to strike it. So this Mora knife actually is ground so that you can strike a fire steel. You can use this to start your butane stove. You can use this to start a fire as long as you have nice dry kindling. And all you do is strike it, it throws a spark and starts it. So I haven't started a camp stove with a match or a butane lighter for quite some time. I just hit the striker. Now the second thing is we always have some matches. This happens to be a small match case made by Exotac. It's milled aluminum. It's much more than anybody needs. You really can just use the small plastic waterproof ones. But what I like about this is it is very light. It has a sealing ring so that no water can get in. It does have a striker on the bottom. If that happens to get wet, you have a secondary striker on top, and it holds a reasonable amount of the UCO waterproof matches. So that's number 2 that we carry for fire starting. And last, and probably one of the most used items in our camping kit, is what's called the small packing bellow, or sorry, the pocket bellows. Now all this is an expandable hollow tube that you stick the small end into the fire, blow into the large end, and it creates a lot more oxygen inside of your fire. This thing is invaluable when it comes to fires that are kind of choking out and you want to get some more air in them. You can just blow in there and you can get the flame started again. I've had fires covered before with my campfire defender. The next morning you get up, you just find the hot coals, you blow into it with this with a little kindling, and you've started. So I highly recommend this. This is a great tool for making campfires. My favorite camp stove that burns wood, because of its versatility, is the Firebox. Now if you're not familiar with the Firebox, I'll put a link below. It's a great little wood burning stove. It folds flat and it fits into this case. So as you can see, it takes up very little room. But I'm also a big believer in redundancy. What if I can't find wood? What if the wood is wet? Well, in that case, the folks at Firebox offer a kit that is a Trangia gas burner that snaps right into the Firebox stove and allows you to use the stove to use butane or propane if you have an adapter. So this stove is not out of commission if you can't find wood. Now I love the outdoors, but one thing about the outdoors that I don't love is mosquitoes. And believe me, I have spent plenty of time in the woods surrounded by mosquitoes, doused in DEET. I am so glad that I found a solution that really helps alleviate the mosquito problem and pulls double duty since I'm carrying butane for my backup Firebox stove. This is the Thermacell Backpacker mosquito repellent. Now if you're not familiar with Thermacell, they basically make a repellent, multiple models. This is the Backpacker model, and what it does is it has a little pad inside that's coated with a mosquito repellent, and this particular model uses a camping butane canister. You just screw it onto the canister and it creates a fire that warms up the pad and releases the repellent. When you burn this at camp, the number of mosquitoes is reduced dramatically. So if you want to use less bug spray, if you want to try a less effective bug spray, along with this, I think it's a fantastic solution, and this baby's come with me on all of our trips since I've gotten it. I hope you enjoyed this first half of the video on our favorite small camping gadgets. Next week, we're going to finish them out. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed the video, please take a moment to subscribe below. If you have subscribed, thanks. We really appreciate it. And as always, take care, and we'll see you outdoors.